Angel Reese does not belong in this league. Angel Reese, this league is a paycheck for Angel Reese.
Remember when WNBA announcers were saying Angel Reese was better than Caitlin Clark? After just 8 minutes of play, with only 4 points and 3 turnovers, the numbers really speak for themselves. Last night's game in the top league gave us even more proof of the growing gap between social media hype and real on-court performance. But here's the most telling stat: as soon as Reese was pulled from the game, her team started to win.
Well, Angel Reese, yesterday, for her unrivaled team, the Rose Basketball Club. Who picked these names in this league? God dog, they're awful. She had her worst, what can be described as her worst professional.
Let's start with the opening minutes of the game, where the problems were clear right away. Angel Reese, who's been hyped up as a future WNBA star, struggled from her very first possession. Her double dribble violation wasn't just a small mistake, it was a basic error that raised bigger concerns about her skill development and overall game preparation.
8 minutes? 8 minutes? 8 GD minutes? 2 for 6 from the field, and it's good to see that field goal percentage is not getting any better.
What makes this especially concerning is the context of the Unrivaled League. This isn't the WNBA with its complex defenses and experienced players. It's a 3-on-3 format designed to highlight individual skills and set up easy scoring opportunities for offensive players. In theory, this should be a perfect environment for someone like Reese to shine. But instead, we saw something else. Take, for example, a fast break early in the game. Reese, a professional basketball player, was completely alone on a fast break with no defenders nearby. Yet, she passed up an open layup. This wasn't just a poor decision, it showed a lack of confidence in even the simplest aspects of the game. At this level, turning down uncontested layups is rare, even unheard of. Now, let's talk about the fouls. For fouls in just 8 minutes, that's not just bad game management, it's a breakdown of the basics. In a 3-on-3 game, where defensive roles are simpler than in traditional 5-on-5, Reese still managed to commit a foul every 2 minutes. To put that into perspective, even rookie WNBA players usually stay on the floor longer without fouling out.
So while I get maybe September to October, even September to early November, you take a break, you relax, you chill, you get your body right. Of course, if you're injured and all that, that's different. But if you're not, and you're able to work on some skills.
The shooting stats tell an equally worrying story. 2 made field goals out of 6 attempts might not seem like a big deal at first, but the quality of those shots is what stands out. These weren't contested shots or last-second heaves, they were mostly open looks set up by teammates in a format designed to create easy scoring chances. What's even more telling is how the Rose Basketball Club performed when Reese was off the court. Lexi Hull, with far less media attention and hype, scored an impressive 19 points on 8 of 11 shooting. This wasn't just a good performance, it was a clear example of solid, fundamental basketball. Hull wasn't chasing viral moments or highlights. She was simply playing the game the right way.
Double streak became a me show. The team disintegrated, right? Other talented players on that team got pushed aside, and it was done. One could argue their coach got fired over it.
This brings us to a crucial point about the current state of women's basketball. The gap between social media fame and actual on-court ability has never been more obvious. While Reese has certainly built a strong following and personal brand, her performance last night raises serious concerns about her fundamental basketball skills. When it comes to defense, the issues are even clearer. In a 3-on-3 format, defensive responsibilities are simpler than in traditional basketball. There's more space, fewer players to track, and easier rotations to manage. Yet, Reese struggled to maintain proper defensive positioning without committing fouls. This isn't just a one-off bad game, it highlights basic basketball fundamentals that should come naturally at this level.
If those gym videos where she's shooting threes, this, that, and the other, are not actually set up and actually directed content.
This performance highlights a growing concern in women's basketball. The gap between social media hype and actual on-court ability is becoming impossible to ignore. While Angel Reese has built a strong following and personal brand, her play in the Unrivaled League raised serious questions about her fundamental basketball skills. Starting with the basics, Reese struggled from the very beginning. In a 3-on-3 format, where defenses are simpler and the game allows for more individual expression, her flaws were exposed. For instance, in the second quarter, she had a chance to create her own shot off the dribble but ended up with poor ball handling, limiting her ability to create space. Instead of making a simple move to score, she forced a shot with little chance of going in. These aren't isolated mistakes, they show a lack of confidence in her skills, which is troubling at this level defensively. The issues continued. In a format with fewer players and more space, Reese struggled to maintain good positioning without committing fouls. At this level, these fundamentals should be second nature. When Reese was on the court, her team's offensive flow suffered too. Without a reliable jumper to keep defenders honest, she clogged up driving lanes for her teammates, making their offense predictable and easier to defend. What's most telling, though, is the team's performance when Reese was off the court. Lexi Hull, with far less attention, stepped up and efficiently scored 19 points on 8 of 11 shooting. She wasn't trying to make a highlight reel, she just played solid, fundamental basketball. Her performance showed what's truly important, understanding how to play the game the right way. The contrast with Caitlin Clark becomes even clearer here. While Clark has displayed a complete offensive game, shooting from range, creating for others, and managing the flow, Reese's limitations are becoming more exposed. WNBA analysts who once claimed Reese was superior to Clark are now facing credibility issues. Reese's performance is a reminder that skills like passing, footwork, and basketball IQ can't be overlooked in favor of social media moments. Moreover, the stats show the importance of teamwork over individual performance. When Reese was off the court, the team's assists went up, their ball movement improved, and their scoring became more efficient. This wasn't coincidence, it showed what happens when basketball fundamentals take priority over individual highlights. Physical concerns were also apparent. After just 8 minutes of play, Reese showed signs of fatigue, which raises questions about her conditioning. In a 3-on-3 format, where there are more opportunities to rest, being visibly tired so soon is worrying. With the full WNBA season ahead, this could be a bigger issue. In the post, traditionally a strength of Reese's game, we saw more issues. She struggled with basic footwork and balance, which led to missed opportunities and turnovers. Similarly, in the transition game, her inability to handle the ball in the open court led to mistakes and broken plays. In today's professional basketball, players need to contribute in every area of the game. What's clear is that Reese needs to improve her fundamentals if she hopes to succeed at the professional level. Basketball isn't just about talent or social media presence, it's about developing the skills needed to compete against the best. The growing disconnect between media hype and on-court performance is something teams and scouts will need to address. Social media and viral moments are important for a player's marketability, but they shouldn't overshadow the need for solid basketball skills. Reese's performance last night showed what happens when that balance is off. As the WNBA draft approaches, teams will be looking at a player's ability to contribute to the team, not just their personal brand. This game was a wake-up call that basketball IQ, fundamentals, and preparation are what really matter at the professional level. Teams need players who can defend, make smart decisions, and play within a team concept. Looking at top prospects like Caitlin Clark, it's clear that the players who thrive at the next level will be those with technical proficiency, not just athleticism. Fundamental skills, basketball IQ, and team-oriented play are what will separate the good from the great. As the evaluation of talent continues, it's essential that players, coaches, and scouts focus on developing the basics. The future of women's basketball requires more than just social media hype, it requires players who are ready to play at a high level and contribute to a team's success. If you found this analysis helpful, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more in-depth basketball breakdowns. The conversation about the future of women's basketball is just getting started, and we'll continue to cover it in the next video. The gap between players like Caitlin Clark and Reese is becoming more noticeable with each game. While Clark continues to demonstrate a comprehensive offensive game, shooting from beyond the arc, setting up teammates, and taking control of the game, Reese's limitations are increasingly exposed. This is particularly evident when we look at the coverage of Reese by WNBA analysts, who previously claimed she was superior to Clark. Now, these same analysts are facing credibility issues, as viewers can see the flaws in Reese's game. One telling moment came in the second quarter, where Reese attempted to create her own shot off the dribble. It revealed several key issues in her game. Her high dribble left her exposed to defenders, her poor footwork made it difficult to create separation, and the result was a rushed shot with little chance of going in. These aren't just isolated incidents, these are recurring problems that show fundamental weaknesses in her game, weaknesses that will need to be addressed if she hopes to succeed at the next level. A significant aspect of basketball at the professional level is offensive flow and spacing, and this is another area where Reese's presence on the court has been detrimental. At the highest level of the game, players need to create advantages for themselves and their teammates, while also maintaining proper spacing. Reese's lack of a reliable jump shot to keep defenders honest has led to poor spacing on offense. Her tendency to crowd driving lanes for her teammates has made the offense more predictable and easier to defend. Even more concerning were the times when Reese had the chance to make simple basketball plays, but instead, she forced individual attempts at highlights. In several instances, a basic pass to an open teammate would have led to a better scoring opportunity, but instead, Reese tried to create a personal moment of glory. This is a glaring issue with her basketball IQ, not understanding when to involve her teammates and when to make the simple, smart play. The feedback from basketball observers has been telling. One fan, watching the game with his father, noted that even casual viewers could see Reese's lack of fundamental skills. Another fan pointed out how much the team's performance improved when Reese was off the court. This wasn't by chance, it's because the team returned to playing simple, team-oriented basketball. When Reese wasn't on the court, the team's assists went up, ball movement improved, and scoring became more efficient. This isn't just about individual talent, it's about understanding how to play winning basketball, and the statistics back this up. When the focus shifted from individual highlights to team success, the results were clear. In addition to her on-court skills, there are concerns about Reese's conditioning. In the 3-on-3 format, where players typically get more rest than in traditional basketball, Reese showed signs of fatigue after just 8 minutes of play. This raises concerns about her preparation and professional approach to the game, especially when considering the demands of a full WNBA season. Conditioning is crucial, and the fact that she appeared winded so quickly is a red flag. Reese's post-play, which was once considered a strength due to her size and athleticism, also showed signs of struggle. In multiple attempts to establish position in the post, she had trouble with basic footwork and balance when going up against experienced defenders. These are fundamental skills that professional basketball players must master, and Reese's inability to execute these basic moves only highlights the technical gaps in her game. When it comes to the transition game, the issues become even more evident. On several occasions, Reese struggled to handle the ball in open court situations, which led to turnovers or broken plays. In modern basketball, especially at the professional level, positional versatility is key. Even bigger players need to be able to handle the ball and make smart decisions in transition. This is an area where Reese struggled, and her inability to contribute positively in these situations hurt her team. What's even more troubling is the way her teammates seemed visibly frustrated at times. There were moments when passes were fumbled or when defensive rotations were missed, and it was clear that Reese's struggles were affecting the entire team's dynamics. This shows that individual limitations can ripple throughout a team's performance, and when one player's weaknesses are exposed, it can impact everyone around them. This is especially critical at the professional level, where every player's role is crucial. The timing of this performance is significant, especially with the WNBA draft fast approaching. Games like this provide crucial data points for teams evaluating potential prospects. It's not just about one bad game, it's about fundamental skills and basketball intelligence that will determine whether a player can succeed at the next level. And when we compare Reese to other top players, the gap in fundamental skills becomes glaring. It's not just about raw talent or athleticism, it's about developing the technical skills needed to compete with the best in the world. This performance is a reminder of the growing importance of fundamental basketball skills, especially as the women's game becomes more competitive. While social media presence and viral moments have become a major part of a player's marketability, the actual on-court product remains rooted in fundamental basketball skills. This is something that the league and fans alike need to recognize. You can't market your way into being a successful player at the professional level. Let's take a deeper look at a few specific sequences from last night's game that show these issues in action. In the second quarter, Reese received the ball in the post, a position that should have been advantageous given her size. But instead of using basic post moves, like a drop step, a hook shot, or even a simple power move, she hesitated, leading to a forced pass that resulted in a turnover. These aren't just mistakes, they are symptoms of a larger issue with her skill development. The comparison to Caitlin Clark becomes unavoidable here. Clark has shown, time and again, that her scoring ability is just one part of her complete game. She has excellent court vision, passing ability, and a deep understanding of when to create for herself and when to involve her teammates. This is a stark contrast to what we saw from Reese last night. When we look at the defensive side of the ball, the issues continue. In just 8 minutes of play, Reese had 4 fouls, which essentially removed any chance she had to make a positive impact on the game. At this level, players need to have a strong grasp of basic defensive principles, proper stance, positioning, and help defense concepts, but these were clearly missing from Reese's game. Another major point is the team's offensive spacing. When Reese was on the court, the offense became stagnant and predictable. Her inability to shoot from the outside meant defenders could sag off her, making it easier to defend the entire offense. Without a reliable shot and with poor spacing, the team struggled to create good opportunities. These are problems that cannot be ignored when evaluating a player's fit at the professional level. The overall performance of the team without Reese on the court also speaks volumes. As mentioned before, the team's assist numbers increased, ball movement improved, and their offensive flow became more fluid.